Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not
You will
relevant.
bring the jury.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not.
Now we're doing commentary on the case. I mean, he Anglican priest, service fucking.
That's literally not true.
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Is that correct?
Oh, for Trump's sake.
All right, welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. I hope your lunch was wonderful and filling and just everything you hoped it would be. I have to tell you, I had a little snack. I had a little snack on lunch with, well, to tell you about the snack, I have to tell you a story. And we can do that because court's not back yet. So we can let's see, let's go to 6. There we go. Court's not back yet, so we're good. First, let me give the internet away. The internet goes to Kim R. Kim, congratulations, you were first in chat. I think Greeners was actually, but we just ignored him. And then we just gave you the internet anyway. So congratulations, you are the winner. Missy Pants, thanks for Flow State. Appreciate it. Ran out and got Chick-fil-A. Sounds good. All right. By a show of hands, how many of y'all have been poor? Okay, I've been there. I mean, like really, really poor. Like there's no money in the budget for anything other than the necessities. And there was a time where Mrs. R.A. and I, trying to raise a young family, we were in that category where it was like, it wasn't like scrimp and save and try to get by. It was like, we're not making it, right? And so one of the categories we had to cut on our spending, our budgeting, was date night, which sucked. Okay, it just, we couldn't go out and just go to a movie or go out to dinner or anything. It wasn't an option. And as things slowly changed around, as I went through schooling, some job opportunities came up. I took on 3 or more jobs at one time. As things started being not quite so tight, which I'm very grateful for, there was a little bit of money, but it was like $3 to $4 a week is what we could spare, right? That's as we're trying to dig out of this hole. We came up with a date on that $3 to $4 a week, where it was about every other week. We would go to the store to get groceries, which we'd have to do anyway, and that was our date time. And so it was our date night. We'd go to the store, and we would go to the deli section, and we'd go to the hoity-toity cheese counter. We'd find these little tiny slices of all these amazing cheeses that I've never tried before. I'm sort of like a Velveeta, cheddar, Monterey Jack, Swiss, and mozzarella. That was my experience with cheese up to this point. And we'd go and we find the counter like in Smith's or one of these grocery store chains. We'd find the counter with all the cheese, and we'd find a cheese we'd never tried before, and just standing there at the counter and picking through the cheeses, reading the names, and trying to guess if it was going to be a stinky cheese or a good cheese or whatever. It was a blast, and we loved that. And for a long time, that was our date night. Let's go get a little slice of cheese, and it was like $3 or $4 worth of cheese because that's all the little slice was worth. We did that again just the other day, not because we had to, but we were out shopping together, and there was a cheese counter, and we got the cheese. Well, we found one called, I can't remember now, Dumbardi or something. I forget like that. But it's an Irish cheese. It's an aged cheese. It comes in a little tiny block, and it was at Walmart, and I had some of that for lunch, and it was a complete throwback. I just cut a couple pieces off and just snack on it. It is so much better than caviar. It is so much cheaper than caviar. Anyway, it was wonderful. Love getting a little bit of cheese. I highly recommend, if you like cheese and money's tight, that be your date experience. Because man, those were good times. Those were good times. Fancy cheese at the Walmart. It was the only one they had. And I tell you this because I need some help. I'm looking for one of those hard cheeses that's sort of crumbly. So think like Parmesan, but harder. So it's a white cheese, and it has like flavor crystals. I don't know how else to describe this. How else to describe flavor crystals in it, where there's a little, I'm not sure, sweetness, sugar, I don't know what it is. Somebody help me find that cheese again, because it's one of the ones we found while we were doing this little dating cheese game. But we've never been able to find that cheese again. We didn't write it down or take a picture. We're just constantly on the search for that one cheese we had with the flavor crystals. So if you know what that is and where I can find it, let me know. Kim, you just funded this month's cheese date. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. Roman pecorino. Parmesan. I don't know. Trader Joe's unexpected cheddar. Did you find a copper plate? How do you know I was looking for a copper plate? Did you see my Amazon earlier? I was shopping for a copper plate. And by plate, I mean like a flat piece of like a bar of copper. You guys know? You guys are on my computer. Carolina Sunshine, thank you very much for the flow state. Also, let's see. We got Missy Pants also sent one. And thank you once again, Kim, for the super chat as well. You guys are most generous. I told you I was looking for copper. Crystal meth cheese. That's different. No, we're not looking for that one. Flavor crystal cheese, not crystal meth cheese. You're going to have to text it to me on the burner phone, and then I'm going to have to look them up, all of them. Let's see where. You asked where to get copper yesterday. I did. Okay, that was my bad. I didn't realize I had told you that. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for wanting copper. Oh, we've got a spam phone call. Hang on one second. Hello?
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 Hi, my name is Hannah.
No, your name's not Hannah. Your name's Computer. Anyway.
Hello.
Hello. To show magnets won't stick. It's like that. I can't take this one on the air. We're coming back to court right this very second. Hang on. Hold please. We're watching court. 1 second. All right. The cheese with maggots. You guys are choosing this. These are yucky. This is good cheese. Prairie Breeze cheddar. We've got Trader Joe's unexpected cheddar. We have a Trader Joe's now in town. Your name is not Hannah. Shelly, thank you very much for the gift as well, for the 10 jewels. Appreciate the happy poop, which for some reason I can't put on the screen. It doesn't let me do happy poop on the screen. Probably for the better. Trader Joe's unexpected cheddar cheese. Subtle hint of salt, slightly crumbly. It shows a cheese ball. Oh, wait. That might be it. That might be it. All right. Well, I'm learning a little bit about cheese and everything else. So, Bobby, thank you for the recommendation. By the way, I will go to the store and look for Manchego or Comté. I'm gonna have to look for all these. Basically, this is like a whole year's worth of dates lined up. You need a Cracker Barrel cheese. You know what I want? When I get rich and famous, and I find this cheese, I want to buy a wheel of it. That's like the ultimate flex, right? When you buy a whole wheel of cheese. I'm gonna have a wheel of cheese, or maybe a half wheel, because it'll probably go bad before I can eat it. So, do you have a European deli? I don't know. I know we don't have one in North Carolina. Not here. Check out Wisconsin Cheese Mart. Like a whole sturgeon. Kerrygold from Ireland. I like the Irish cheese we have now. It's very close to what it was. It was probably the closest. I think it's called Dumbarton cheese or something like that. I have to go run out to the fridge and show you the wrapper. Try Stilton. It's made in a small town in England. It's so good. I'll be a cheese connoisseur. It is so much more pleasurable to taste cheese than it is to taste caviar. I mean, it is night and day difference. I can be like, oh man, you can really taste the organic, the sunshine of the fields from Ireland in this cheese. It shines through. I can get all descriptive that way. Otherwise, with caviar, you're like, sort of salty. That's it. So, Alaska verdict, not yet. I will tell you where I've been in touch with the webmaster up at Alaska, stream.akcourts.gov. Stream.akcourts.gov is the website, because their website was down earlier today, and I said, please fix it, and it looks like he has fixed it, because he or she, whoever it is, I'm assuming it was a guy that screwed things up, so that's why I put the he on there. Let's see. Anyway, I'm hoping that everything is resolved there, because the website was down for a long time. No verdict yet. Webmaster is a blast from the past. Alaska is a little bit slower. Dubliner is very good. It's really good. I really, really like it. It was the 16th state to join the Union. Well, they were the last one to get on the internet, apparently. So, did Mrs. R.A. like the caviar? She did not try it. She insisted on throwing it away. So before she could throw it away, I tried to feed it to our cat, which did not like it and has not spoken to me since. I mean, it hasn't even meowed at me since. I think it's highly offended. So the cat did not like I then tried to feed it to the possum that lives under our deck. The possum would not eat it either. All right, we're back. Looks like the jury's coming in right now. We're going to start up a new witness here. I think we've got a detective, and I think it's a police witness, and then an expert witness that might sort of take us to the end of the day today. See if I can do this. It's taken a while to get everybody in. Must have been wandering around the courtroom. Does this lawyer remind you of Peter Potts from Iron Man?
Detective Miller, we left off at page 24 of the exhibit. This is now on page 25. Can you describe what is shown?
It's referencing a Snapchat that Jade received on her device from an individual named Lauren.
And that Lauren has letters after it, but there's nothing about that that's connected to Lauren Weber as far as you know, correct?
As far as I'm aware, correct.
And the next page of your report, which is page 26, can you describe what is shown here?
Two text messages are identified. One from Najaya to Jade's phone at 7:02 on 2/25/23, stating he said he wants some pasta, and then laughing. And then at 7:07, Jade receives a text from Jarius Porter on the same date.
I'm sorry.
Just staying on the same date as well.
And the next page. Can you describe what's shown here?
At 7:13, Jade answers a call from Najaya that lasts approximately 1 minute on 2/25 at 7:13 p.m. And then it also just picks a text message that was received from Najaya saying Blaise is probably going to like this. Blaise is probably like this expletive on 2/25 at 7:56 p.m.
And is the expletive followed by a couple of laughing emojis?
Yes.
And that was page 27. Can you describe what's on the next page?
Jade receives a Snapchat message from an individual named Braylon, and that was at 2:25 at 7:23:01 p.m.
And there's an image with that. Is that, I guess, can you kind of describe, that's just a message, correct?
Correct. The picture in and of itself is the message.
And that was page 28. This is page 29. Can you describe what's shown here?
A series of texts that were sent within a minute of each other, starting with one from Jade to Najaya saying, LOL, I'm about to make the plate at 7:24:32. Najaya responds, okay, we're close at 7:24:48. And then Najaya sending again, I just had to have it, followed by two emojis at 7:24:55.
And this next page, which is page 30, is that, can you describe what that is?
It's just a different way to display the exact same information, just a little bit more digestible is all.
And the next page, which is 31, can you describe what's shown here?
Depicts a phone call that was incoming to Jay's device from Najaya that was answered, and it lasted about 9 seconds at 7:33:58 p.m. on the 25th.
And the next page, which is 32, can you describe what's shown here?
Between the hours of 8:03 and 8:29 p.m., texts are traded between Najaya and Jade shortly after Najaya leaves the residence.
And so there was no communication directly between Jade and Nigeria from that 7:30, what our last page was, 7:33 until that 8:03. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then the next page, which is 33, can you describe what's shown here?
This is the series of texts, again, just in a different format.
And can you describe, there's kind of a gray box and a blue box. Who is the person whose messages are in blue?
So, like I was referring to earlier, the messages that are extending from the left side of the screen, those are going to be the individual that Jade was communicating with. Those in blue that are extending from the right side of the screen, those are going to be Jade's statements or Jade's texts.
And for the record, can you read out the content of the text from Nigeria on 2/25/23 at 8:03:06 p.m.?
Yes. It says, "That was a cute interaction we all had. I hope y'all had a great date night. Love you," with a handful of heart emojis afterwards.
And the next page is page 34. Can you describe what's shown here?
Another series of texts shortly after the previous slide that we were just looking at, a continuation of the conversation.
And specifically, can you read out the content of the message on 2/25/23 at 8:12:22 p.m.?
Yes. It states, "Oh, that was sweet of him," with 2 emojis following it. "I didn't want to intrude. We can definitely plan something soon, and he can teach us how to play spades."
Spades,
And the
eh?
next page, which is
That's a good
35, can you describe the content of this page?
Yes, so this is one of those databases I was referring to earlier that Apple collects from all iPhones that they use to improve our user experience, to improve software, so on and so forth. This one specifically
Improve their
is
revenue.
from a database that they refer to as Knowledge C. And this portion of the database focuses on the locked states of the device. So when it was unlocked or when it was locked. So it has a period of time of when it started a locked state, when it stopped that locked state. And then there's a recorded line, another column that says recorded. That varies from time to time. That's just when it was entered into the database. The start and the stop is what you need to focus on, is what we focus on, I should say.
And can you read into the record the start and end date and time for the unlocked entry that is highlighted on page 35?
Yes, the unlocked state started at 2:25 on 2/25/23 at 8:29:36, and it ended on 2/25/23 at 8:29:52 p.m.
And the next page, which is page 36, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, this is a photograph that was taken at 8:29 p.m. This one held on to some XF data that actually has the location where the photograph was taken. Again, it was Jade's apartment. And this is of that same area that she had planned, or that had laid out dinner and some of these arts and crafts. And this is kind of a mid.
He painted it all black.
In the middle of their crafting or painting that they were doing.
He started with the black page.
Is there anything specific about the type of picture file?
Yes, so this is a live image. Apple, along with other devices, they have live images now to where you have an option of kind of sliding through the image to focus on a singular frame in that video. A very short video that you can slide through, so if somebody was blinking or not smiling in a photograph, you can kind of pause on a different frame. That being said, there will be, with this one specifically, there will be an image and a very short 2 to 3 second video that's also titled the same as the photograph itself. They're just combined into one package. So when you take that picture, you're really just taking a short video, and it chooses a portion of that as its photograph.
And this picture is file name IMG_3411. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this next page, which is 37, can you describe what that is?
That is the video in relation to that photograph we just saw.
And that kind of moving file is downloaded to the disk that goes with this recording.
Yes, that's one of the 3 that was downloaded to that disk, yes.
And so that will be 3411. And the next page, which is IMG_3412.
Yes, so this is an actual video that was taken, a video that was taken shortly after that photograph was just taken, again, of their project, or of the progress of their project that they were completing.
Which I'm going to go back just a couple of screens. So you read out the unlock time is 8:29:36, and then the lock time is 8:29:52. This photo was taken at 8:29, but can you put into the record the seconds?
Yeah, it's 8:29:50 p.m.
And that's for 3411, and that coincides within that unlock time. Is that correct?
Correct. It's within that window.
And that was page 38. We are now on page 39. Can you describe what is shown here?
This is, again, from that Knowledge Seed database. So again, this is some information that Apple that they store on the device. This is a portion that is focusing on the Pinterest application. You can see over on the far left the activity type column. You can see com.pinterest.view search. All of these artifacts or these line items are processes that are occurring within the application of the Pinterest application. The one that's highlighted shows that it's accessing a URL very specific to a search. And if you follow the website, the URL, which looks like a traditional website, as we can all agree on, the www.pinterest, and continue on, after the search, you'll see a question mark and a Q and then an equal sign. The word motivational and then the words are actually her search terms that she searched within Pinterest. So she searched for the term motivational words and then received the results from that search and was able to scroll through them.
And the next page, which is 40, can you describe what is shown here?
This is just further detail of, ultimately I was explaining what was, this is again just another reference of that exact line item that we were just talking about.
And the next screen, which is page 41, can you describe what's shown here?
It's another snapshot of the lock and unlock or device states, and it shows that it was her device was unlocked on 2/25/23 from 9:03 to 2/25/23 9:01 p.m.
And the next page, which is 42.
This again is just showing a snapshot of the fact that she was utilizing the Pinterest application for this period of time. So the event date, if you go down that column, from about 9 o'clock to 9:07, she was searching and or scrolling on that application.
And does it show the next activity after 9:07:30 is 9:16:26?
Yes.
And this next image, which is page 43, can you describe what's shown here?
This is a video that we were referring to a little bit ago. It was taken not long after the photograph, again showing their progress of their painting.
And so that Pinterest activity is happening after this photo is taken, is that correct? Kind of before?
Before, during, and after. Yes.
And after.
Yes.
And this next page, which is 44, can you describe what this is?
Yeah, this is, so what we were just looking at was a still shot of this video. So as it plays through, it's just her painting across the countertop, showing the progress of her painting and the progress of Blaise's painting.
And so that video, the IMG_3412, that would also be on the disc.
That is correct, yes.
And the next page, which is 45, can you describe what's shown here?
Again, just referencing the usage of the Pinterest application during that time frame.
And that kind of part that's highlighted is 9:07:30 p.m. to 9:32:08 p.m. Is that correct?
To 9:19:58 is the recorded time is not necessarily going to be the event time. That was just when it was recorded in the database.
And that's what I was getting to. I guess I was looking at the recorded time, but that last line, can you describe, it doesn't actually go to 9/30/208, is that correct?
That is correct. That's just when that line item was recorded in that database.
And so that activity is at 9/19/58.
Correct.
And that is page 46. We are now at page 47. Can you describe what's shown here?
We are looking at a still image of what Apple refers to as a snapshot. So ultimately, when we are closing down applications and we swipe up and we see kind of still states of all the applications that we had open, those freeze frames or those still shots of our applications, those are what Apple refers to as snapshots. Those are saved as a very specific file type within the extraction of the device. It doesn't look like it's not saved as a typical picture. It's not saved as a movie or anything like that. It's a very unique file type. So we know that that's what this photograph came from. But this is also most likely the last thing she was looking at on Pinterest when she was conducting her painting.
And the next page, which is 48, can you describe what is shown here?
Yes, so if you notice on the file name at the very end of it, it's .ktx. It's a very unique file type. I don't know of any other photographs that utilize that file type, but it shows a created date at 9/19/59 p.m. and on the date of 2/25/2023.
And if you were to swipe away kind of that open page on your phone, what would happen to that KTX file?
If I was to, I'm sorry, say that again.
If you were to close out that open app on your phone,
okay.
what happens to the KTX file?
It still is stored for a period of time on the device.
Is it at some point deleted?
Yes, it's in a temporary folder. So it's one of those things that we all know that we open and close applications at varying rates. So it's not something that the phone wants to hold on to indefinitely because it's not really going to benefit anybody or the device or anything. So it's one of those that's an evolving database, a constant kind of a rollover.
And the next page, which is 49, can you describe what was shown here?
We have highlighted a window of a locked state and an unlocked state. The locked state, well, I start with the unlocked state because we're going in a descending. So on 2/25 at 9/19/49, it was unlocked until 9/20/59 p.m. and then it was locked at 9/20/59 p.m. until 9/29/06 p.m.
And you just said it was locked from 9/20/59 p.m. until 9/29/06 p.m.
That's correct.
And the next page is 50. Can you describe what is shown here?
It's a snapshot of a series of photographs that were taken with Jade's device between the times of 9:24 and 9:28 p.m.
Which you have just testified that her phone was in a locked state. Can you describe how is it possible that she is taking photographs?
Yes. So from a locked state, Apple devices and other mobile devices have realized that people utilize their phone as a camera just as much as they do a phone. So they make it a little bit easier for you to swipe either to the left or hold down on a little camera icon in the bottom right-hand corner. You can do this without ever entering your PIN, using your fingerprint or your Face ID to access that application.
And are there 12 photographs that are taken in a series?
Yes.
And is the first one listed at the bottom of this page 50?
The first one, yes. I'm sorry, yes.
This next page 51, can you describe what's shown here? Is that just more detail about these exact 12 photos?
Yes,
a little bit bigger so you can see the exact time.
Just zoomed in a little bit more, yes.
And the next page, which is 52, can you describe what's shown here?
I placed a copy of the photograph and then a copy of the detailed information just to the right of it, so it kind of flowed a little bit easier. So as we're looking through these slides, the photograph on the left, and then the immediate right of it is the detailed information for that photograph. So the first one being 34313.jpg was taken at 9:24:33 p.m. and it also again has the location information stored inside that photograph, or in the details of that photograph, that it was taken at her apartment. The following picture was, again, these will be kind of in a consecutive order as well, because they were taken fairly shortly after the first one. Next one being 3414.jpg at 9:24:41 p.m.
And the next page, which is 54, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, same.
I apologize, that's 53.
Page 53? Oh, yeah. Very first photograph at the top, ending in 3415.jpg, was taken at 9:25:17 p.m. Then 3416 was taken at 9:25:32 p.m. and then 3417 was taken at 9:25:51 p.m.
And the next page, which is 54, can you describe what's shown here?
Same way we're looking at the extension of that same series. So ending in 3418.jpg was taken at 9:27:02 p.m. 3419.jpg was taken at 9:27:38 p.m. and then 3420.jpg was taken at 9:27:45 p.m.
And the next page, which is 55, can you describe what's shown here?
3421.jpg was taken at 9:27:54. 3421.jpg was taken at 9:27:59. And then 3423.jpg was taken at 9:28:20 on the 25th.
And the next page, which is 56, does that just reiterate all of the dates and times of those photographs?
Yes.
And this next page is 57. Can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, this is image 3424.jpg taken at 9:28:45 p.m. but then was also subsequently marked for deletion at 9:29:12 p.m.
And when you say mark for deletion, what user input is required for that?
Oh, you'd have to have the phone unlocked at that point. You would definitely have to have full access to the device in order to mark anything for deletion.
How hard is it to mark something for deletion?
It's fairly easy.
And the next page, which is 58, can you describe what's shown here?
At 9:29 p.m., Jade calls Nigea's phone. Nigea answers. The call lasts for 6 minutes and 9 seconds at 9:29:27 p.m.
And the next page, which is 59, can you describe, is this just added kind of the time of that call?
Oh, yes.
And can you give the duration for that call?
The duration for the call that's listed above,
Mm-hmm.
it was 6 minutes and 9 seconds.
And this next page, which is 60, can you describe what's shown here?
This is a snapshot of the call detail records that were for Blaise Taylor's device, and it indicates a 911 call on the date of the incident.
And so lines 428 and 429, that's a duplicate entry. Is that something that is fairly common with 911 with the carrier records?
Yes.
And the time being 033858, it's listed as a GMT time, is that correct?
Yes.
And can you describe what's the correlation to that in local time if the call was made at 9:58 p.m. Central Time?
Yes. So ultimately, electronic devices are stored and are created with the concept of UTC or GMT time. Because we can't have a Tennessee-specific phone or a Italy-specific phone, we have to have kind of a zero starting point that all devices can adjust to, or at least adjust from, to get to your local time zone. So ultimately, that's kind of the zero starting point for the time, and if you apply our time zone during that time, which was standard time, not daylight savings time because we were in February, it's going to be -6 hours, so just Central Standard Time at that time. So if you subtract that 6 hours, it takes us right back to 9:38:58 when the 911 call was made.
And this next page, which is 61, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, we have a line item highlighted for an unlocked state starting at 9:29:06 and ending at 9:35:49 p.m. on the 25th of February.
And the next page, which is 62, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, so moments after the 911, I'm sorry, not the 911 call, but moments after the phone call to Nigea's phone from Jade's device, Nigea texts Jade 2 messages. First one at 9:30:17, what's going on? And then at 9:30:22 p.m., are you talking to me?
Which I'm going to go back 3 pages. And so that phone call began at 9:29 and 27 seconds, lasted for 6 minutes and 9 seconds. So it would have ended at 9:35:36.
That's correct.
And then going down to page 62, these 2 text messages are sent during that phone call. Is that correct?
Correct, not even a minute after it started.
And did you read the content of the message into the record?
I did.
Thank you. And the next page, which is
Thank you,
63,
Ayden. Appreciate
can
it.
you describe what's shown here?
It's a continuation of that text string that Jade and Nigea shared earlier, and then another depiction of the messages that I just read.
And the next page, which is 64, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, so this is just what I explained before was the unlocked state. It ended at 9:35:49 p.m. It went into a locked state at that point until the following day at 6:44 a.m.
And obviously you have some of your commentary at the top of this slide.
Yes.
The data is what is underneath the slide. Can you explain what happens when your phone is in a locked state? What actions are still available?
So your phone can still receive text messages. It can receive phone calls. You will get notifications and alerts. If you had alarms set, those would still go off. If somebody else had control of the device, they could answer incoming calls. They could maybe even see incoming text messages, but they obviously would have to have the pen to open them up.
And the next page, which is 65, can you describe what the lock state date, start date and end date that's highlighted?
Yes, as I just referred to, the lock state started at 9:35:49 p.m. and remained locked until 6:44 a.m. the following morning.
And the next page is 66. Can you describe what's shown here?
At 9:47:11, Nigea calls Jade's device and it was answered, and it lasted about 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
And that was when the phone was in the locked state, correct?
That is correct. It was in a locked state at that time.
Detective Miller, we kind of went through the timeline of that 2/25 of 2023. Can you describe when you're analyzing the phone, are you the lead detective on the case and doing everything yourself?
Not at all.
And did you work with the lead detective assigned to this case?
I did.
And I guess can you kind of describe how does that work with you locating information and y'all working together?
Yes, so there's a constant line of communication ultimately. Starting out when we receive paperwork, we're going to have some initial information about when the incident occurred, what kind of incident it was, because we don't just work on homicide phones, we work on sex abuse phones, we work on robbery phones, like all different types of devices. So every investigation is going to be a little bit different. So, but we're constantly in communication with that lead detective. They had boots on the ground during the initial portion of the investigation. They know it inside and out, and I'm kind of a third party coming in, again, assisting in the investigation. with the digital evidence. So I have to rely on those lead detectives anytime I'm working on a phone or on a report for a device, because I need to know a lot more information. So there's constant lines of communication.
And did he ask you to look for certain pieces of information during certain time frames?
Yes.
And was November 6th one of those time frames?
That was.
And the next page, which is 68, can you describe what was shown here?
So this is a snapshot of the notes application, or a portion of the notes application that was in Jade's device.
And can you describe when the note was created?
It was created on 11/6 of 22 and at 4:11:27 p.m. And a note is one of those that you can constantly keep modifying, adding to, taking away from, so it has a last modified date as of the 8th of that same month.
And can you read the body of that note?
Yes. I think that we might as well cut out the communication or whatever between us, because we can't keep opening and closing this door when I've made the decision. You said how you felt and what you do or don't want, and I respect it and will not involve you at any point. My appointment is the 16th, so if your mind changes or anything, feel free to reach out at any time. But other than that, I feel like we will just be running in circles, continuing to communicate.
And can you explain, there's a summary section. Do you know how that's created?
It's created by the application and is actually just in the line item of all your notes. It'll actually give you just like a little snapshot of what's in that note.
And the next page, which is 69, can you describe what's shown here?
A series of texts between Nigea and Jade on 11/6/22, starting at 12:49:50 p.m.
And can you read out the time and the content of the text messages on this page?
Yes. At 12:49:50 p.m., Jade states, Blaise talking about the current situation in quotations. And then she follows up, again, Jade to Nigea at 12:50:06 p.m. I'm going to tell him today I'm not having the abortion so he can just get it out of his head. Nigea responds at 12:51:11 p.m. like he had the opportunity to talk yesterday and didn't. Nigea then follows up with, at 12:51:18 p.m., she laughed at Jade's, she responded to Jade's text by laughing at it or doing a ha-ha quotation above the text. And then she follows up with LMAO, get it out of his head because it's a wrap, at 12:51:30 p.m. Jade then responds at 12:51:38 p.m., literally, and was being awkward, trying to have other conversations to avoid. At 12:51:46, Jade responded to the message from Nigea, emphasizing her message about it's a wrap. Then Nigea texts Jade at 12:51:53 p.m. because it's happening. Nigea follows up with, do you think my story should have a song or no? Referring to a post or something along those lines, I'm guessing, at 12:52:08 p.m. And then Jade responding, he's going to be like, but why? It just makes no sense for us. Like, expletive, shut it down. At 12:52:12 p.m. And then she finishes with, yeah, give it a little song at 12:52:43 p.m.
And the next page, which is 70.
Same.
So it's more messages between them.
Correct. Do you want me to follow up with reading them all?
Yes.
Okay. At 12:52:49 p.m., Nigea says he most def is going to be on that. Jade responds at 1:10:44 p.m. It's all good though. It is what it is. Jade then follows up with, I told my dad yesterday. That was at 1:10:48 p.m. Nigea says, oh, expletive, how'd that go? At 1:11:05. Nigea then sends a photograph
I don't
with
think she
no
said,
context.
oh, expletive.
And then Jade responds, it went really good. He cried. I've never seen him cry other than my grandma's sister's funeral at 1:12:14 p.m. Nigea responded, cried, question marks, and then a series of emojis at 1:12:24. And then Nigea then followed up with, stop it, Dennis, at 1:12:29 p.m. Jade finishes this page with, but he told me basically the same as my mom, that he would support me either way, at 1:12:43 p.m.
And the next page, which is 71, can you describe what's shown here?
At 1:45:12 p.m., Jade texts Nigea, I'm about to talk to this expletive. Nigea responds like WTF. At 1:45:32 p.m., Nigea then says, let me know how it goes. At 1:45:36 p.m., again, Nigea sends a photograph without any context. And then at the bottom, Jade finishes up with, I think that we might as well cut the ties, communication, or whatever between us.
Is that a draft of basically that note that you've already testified to?
Yes.
And that's Jade sending that to Nigea, is that correct?
Correct.
And there's a photograph in the message that Nigea sends Jade at 2:29. This next page, which is 72, can you describe what this is?
That's a photograph that she submitted in that message.
And the next page, which is 73, can you describe what's shown here?
These are responses that Nigea sent Jade of edited versions, I guess is the best way to describe it, as she read the message that Jade was considering sending to Blaise. She shared it with Nigea, and Nigea gave her thoughts on it.
And that last message on this page is at 5:11:59 p.m. Can you describe what that is?
Jade sent Nigea a picture with no context.
And the next page, which is 74, can you describe what that is?
It appears to be a Kroger website image of organic basil.
And is that the image that was in that previous message?
Yes.
And the next page, which is 75, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, this is a message that Jade sent to Blaise Taylor's device with the final draft, if you will, of the message she had started in notes and then shared with Nigea and edited a few times. This was the final draft that she texted to Blaise at 4:37 p.m. on 11/6/2022.
And can you read that into the record, please?
Yes. After multiple conversations, I think it may be best that we go ahead and cut the ties of communication between us. We can't keep opening and closing this door when I've made the decision I have. We will continue to run in circles of communication about the situation when we know we are not in agreement with the situation. You said how you felt and stated that moving forward you want no parts, so I will let it be just that. I will not involve you at any point. I will love this child unconditionally with or without you. I informed you that my appointment is on the 16th, so if your mind changes between now and then, the choice is yours to show up or not. So with that being said, there's nothing left for me to say. Have a great rest of your day, Blaise.
And the next page, which is 76, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, it's another view of her sending that exact same text on the 6th of November.
And is that the thread between Jade Benning and Blaise Taylor?
That is the thread, yes.
And what is the next message that occurs after the November 6, 2022?
Almost 2 months later, on 12/31/22 at 4:26:02 p.m., Jade texts Blaise's device stating, "I'll be off in about 30 or 45 minutes. I will call you when I leave."
And can you describe in Jade's iPhone, does it capture every single phone call that she makes?
Not all of her phone calls. Well, it does capture all of them, yes. Inherently, phones do capture all phone calls, but not... well, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it does capture phone calls.
Is it possible that that phone call occurred through a third-party app?
It is possible.
Because it appears she's responding to something, but nothing happened.
That is correct.
Did you look for evidence of what would have occurred between Jade Benning and Blaise Taylor prior to her sending this text message?
Yes.
And did you find anything related to that?
I did.
And what was that?
I found a message or a text string between Jade and Nigea. Jade had texted Nigea a photograph of a missed call from Blaise. She had taken a screen capture of her locked phone that she had missed a call from Blaise, so it shows that on her screen, and she texts that to Nigea. Nigea responded as though you would think she would. She was surprised because it had been a serious period of time since they talked, and then Jade seemed excited about the fact that he was calling.
And can you describe what's shown here? That is 77.
Yeah, it's just further detail of the slide we were just looking at, the text.
And this is 78, which is kind of just talking about that time frame of November 4th, 2022 to February 25th, 2023. Did you specifically kind of look at any contact that they would have had during that time frame?
Yes.
And specifically, did you look at Jade's activity during that specific time frame?
Yes.
And do the next few slides kind of focus in on things related to her and her actual pregnancy?
Yes, it does.
And this next page, which is 79, can you describe what is shown here?
Yes, these are a series of calendar entries that were on her device, and then just below that, a series of text confirmation that you would typically receive from like a doctor's office or something along those lines, confirming the dates and times of those appointments that were listed above, of some of the appointments that were listed above, I should say.
And the next page is 80, which is kind of a zoomed in image of a portion of the previous slide. Can you
Correct.
read into the record the dates of these appointments?
Yes, the titled doctor appointment at Vanderbilt Women's start date and time was 11/16/22 at 1:40 p.m. The following is a second OB appointment at 12/28/22 at 3:40 p.m. A third OB appointment or an anatomy scan at 2/2/23 at 9:45 a.m. I had to look this up, a non-invasive prenatal test for the blood work on 2/6/23 at 9 a.m. The following is a third OB with an Allison Mullally on 2/10/23 at 11:40 a.m. An ultrasound on 3/9/23 at 9:05 a.m. A glucose test on 3/9/23 at 11 a.m. And then a Little Sprouts Spring and Summer pop-up sale on 3/21/23 at 4:30 p.m.
And that first appointment was on November 16th of 2022, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And this next page is 81. Can you describe what's shown here?
It's a detailed portion of a video that we're about to show. That was taken at 2:34 p.m. on 11/16/22.
That we're about to show. He knows where this is going.
And can you describe what is shown here on 82?
It's a video that appears to be inside of a doctor's office, videotaping and ultrasound being displayed on a screen in a dark office.
It's very dark.
And is that one of the video files that will be on the disk?
It is.
And the next page, which is 83, can you describe what's shown here?
It's the details for another video that we're about to display that was taken shortly after at 2:59:50 p.m.
And that is on November 16th, 2022, is that correct?
Yes.
And that is a still image on page 84 of your report. Can you describe what that video is?
Yes, it is showing Jade walking out of the appointment, seemingly pretty excited to the point of having to remove her mask to show her smile.
And is that video on the disc as well?
Yes.
And the next page, 85, is a duplicate of the previous page. Can you describe, these are all of the appointments that she has, correct?
As they relate to the pregnancy, it's not every appointment that she had in her calendar.
Okay. And that Little Sprouts event, was there additional information on her phone about that?
I don't recall if there was.
Is it possible there were messages that related specifically to that?
Yes, there were. I'm sorry. Yes.
And that was scheduled to occur on March 21st, is that right?
Yes.
And this next page is 86. Can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, Jade had created 2 boards on her Pinterest account, one titled Baby Nursery Inspiration and the other titled Baby Shower Ideas. First one was created or started on 12/16/22 at 10:39 p.m. and the other was created or started on 1/16/23 at 8:48 p.m.
And this next image kind of takes us a little bit out of sequence, but can you describe what is shown here on page 87?
Yes, it's a series of texts between Jade and Blaise on 9/28/22, starting at 9:45:35 a.m.
And this next page, 88, can you describe what's shown here?
It's a detail. It's the details for the very first text, just kind of giving a little bit more in-depth look at the starting of the conversation.
And this next page, which is 89, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, it's a continuation of the same conversation the same day, just a little bit later on at 6:52:01 p.m. Between, again, Jade and Blaise.
And can you read into the record the content of that message at 6:52:01?
Yes, that very first message from Jade to Blaise. I want to come stay with you again tonight. Blaise responds at 10:59:38 p.m. Yes, that's fine. So sorry, I definitely thought I had responded, just was getting ready for bed and was like, dang, she hasn't responded back. And it was me who didn't respond with an emoji. Jade then responds at 11:04:46. LOL, it's all good. I'm finishing up at the gym. I'll come there in a minute at 11:04:46. And then follows up about 6 minutes later with on my way. Blaise responds at 11:11:16 that his door is unlocked, and about a minute later, Jade responds, loving his last text.
And were you specifically asked to look to see if they had contact kind of right there at the end of September?
Yes, I was.
And the next page, which is 90, can you describe what's shown here?
This is just a little bit more detail about the very last text that was sent in that string, just giving a little bit more information on it from the beginning to the end of the conversation.
And the next page, which is 91, can you describe what's shown here?
There were 4 notes located in her phone that were of a pregnancy mindset. 4 notes were started, one titled Baby Names, one titled Baby List Needs, one titled Ultrasound Appointment, and another titled Baby Shower.
And the next page, which is 92, can you describe what's shown here?
This is a series of line items from her inbox or her email. These are all email lists that she had signed up for that are all either parenting related, baby related, pregnancy related, of that nature. So she had 5 of them that she had actually subscribed to.
And the next page, which is 93, can you describe what's shown here?
It's a series of videos that I located inside of her device that were videos of an Amazon checkout, or like an end cart before you check out, so in your basket for Amazon, 2 of those for Amazon, another one for Old Navy, and another for another child-related website, all indicating items that she had in her cart ready for purchase.
And are all 4 of those videos between 2/20/2023 and 2/22/2023?
That's correct, yes. The detailed portion down there at the very bottom is in correlation with the still image directly above it. Again, these are all videos, so these are just a still shot of the video.
And this is 4 separate things that you kind of consolidated.
Correct.
Did you pull every single pregnancy-related item from Ms. Binning's phone?
No, not at all. This is just a sampling of what I located.
Was it somewhat just constant?
Yes.
From the beginning of November until February 25th of 2023?
Yeah, it was very, very constant.
And the next page is 94. Can you describe what's shown here?
An image that made me think she was treating herself right and working with the pregnancy by creating mocktails and posting that to some friends on Snapchat.
And did you specifically look for any evidence of alcohol use, marijuana use, things of that nature?
Correct, yes.
And did you find this kind of looking for that type of thing?
Amongst other things, yes.
And this next image, which is 95, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, it's a photograph of Jade at a local gym, or her gym, and she I found it important to say that she noted that we made it to the gym today. So my inference is her referring to her and her unborn.
And what type of artifact is this?
This is a Snapchat artifact.
And what's the date for the record?
It was created on 1/11/23 at 1:03 p.m.
And the next page, which is 96, can you describe what's shown here?
It's a photograph that was taken on February 2nd, 2023 at 9:24 a.m. And again, it appears that she is in a doctor's office with a ultrasound image up on a screen in the room.
And can you describe what is an HEIC file?
It's a high efficiency image container, and it's just a really fancy term for that Apple uses for their images. It's just a very high quality image. So it's very normal to see that inside of an Apple extraction.
And the next image, which is page 97, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, this is another photograph. This one was just a few minutes after the one we previously looked at. This one's titled 3131.jpg, and it's a photograph inside of a doctor's office. Now, looking more like it might be Jade that's getting her ultrasound, because you can almost picture her laying down on her back, taking the picture from her side.
And the date and time of this image?
It's at 2/23 at 10:11:01 a.m.
And the next page, which is 98, can you describe what's shown here?
This is a snap video that was taken on 2/2/23 at 9:55 a.m.
And the next image, which is 98 and 99, can you describe what's shown here?
Similar to the last. So again, another snap video that was taken just moments later.
Did you include every single image that has been posted from that February 2nd, 2023 appointment?
No.
Was it voluminous?
Lots of pictures. Lots of them.
And was she taking them on different platforms, her phone, and then also within Snapchat?
That's correct.
And this next image, which is page 100.
This is image titled 3163.jpg. It was taken on 2/2/23 at 10:12:28 a.m. And again, it's a picture of her holding up her recently received sonogram printout.
And the next page is 101. Can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, this is a series of text messages that Jade submitted to Blaise Taylor. First one on January 26, 23 at 11:29:08 a.m. She texted a photograph and then followed up with just reminding you that my appointment is next Thursday at 9:45. It shouldn't be longer than an hour. The photograph that she shared is pictured just below the portion that says OB, a third OB anatomy scan. She followed up with another text not long after that on January 26, 23 at 12:14:44 p.m. Okay, hopefully you can make it. I'd love for you to be there when I find out the gender. You coming to importance is very important, and that got cut off. Not so much the body of the text as the fact that she was texting him about the appointments is what I was trying to portray in these messages. On 2/5/23 at 11:48 p.m., she texts Blaise, sweet dreams though, about to try and go to sleep since I have to be up early for the appointment, followed up with an emoji. And then on 2/10/23 at 12:51:16 p.m., an emoji and then a doctor's appointment went good. She said everything was normal, just waiting for the test to come back, which will be next week probably.
And that one, I think you read out the message read time. Was the message sent at 12:46:56?
I'm sorry, yes. I apologize. Read from the wrong column.
And the next image, which is page 102 of the report, can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, it's a photograph from a series of photos that Jade took in her kitchen on February 6, 2023 at 4:39 p.m.
And were you asked to look for specific information related to the camera that is portrayed in this photograph?
Yes, when you're looking at the details for images, I mean that is one of the things that, depending on the application that you use, is identified in the details of that photograph. If you look down a little bit lower on the right side, a little bit lower than halfway, you can see that it was taken with an Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max utilizing software version 16.1.1, which was the same as Jade's device.
Which I apologize, Detective Miller. I think my question was confusing. I was referring to the surveillance camera that was on the left side of the stove.
There's that too.
Were you also asked to look for any information related to that camera?
Yes.
Okay. And the next image, which is 103 of your report, can you describe
Ben and Jerry's half-baked.
Another photograph taken in that same series.
And the next image, which is 104, can you describe what's shown here?
Another photograph taken not long after, titled 3236.jpg in the same series.
And did you include all of the photographs that Ms. Fitting took of her and her sonogram pictures on that February 6, 2023 date?
No, there was quite a few of them.
And the next image, which is 105 of your report, can you describe what's shown here?
Yeah, it's a series of text messages between Jade and her mother.
And can you describe the one at 6/17/03? What, I guess, does that image indicate to you?
A series of photographs were sent in one singular message.
And does that time frame kind of match up to when she was taking those photographs in her kitchen?
It does.
And the next page is 106. Can you describe what's shown here?
Same. It's going to end up being a series of photographs sent and a handful of messages, all containing a series of photographs in each message.
And page 107, is that another image of the 9 images that she sent her mom that day.
Yes.
And the next page is 108. Can you describe what's shown here?
Jade texts her mother, took these today at 6:17:10 p.m. And her mother proceeded to start loving each individual picture.
And the next image is 109. Can you describe what's shown here?
Selfie taken on titled 3337.jpg on 2/15/23 at 1:33:20 p.m.
Detective Miller, did you capture every single pregnancy progress post that Ms. Benning took that would be similar to this one?
I did not. Again, this is just a sampling.
Was that something that she was doing on a regular basis during those months?
Yes.
And the next image is page 110. Can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, this is a screen capture that was taken of Jade's device when it was in a locked state. She had a tendency of doing that when she was going to be texting someone else a screenshot of somebody who just called or just texted or something along those lines. But I found this one interesting to note. This is her lock screen with her sonogram in the background and a very staged photo that meant a whole lot to her for a number of different reasons. I felt that to be important to add.
And can you read the date and time of this message?
Yes, it was taken on 2/23/23 at 10:35 a.m.
And I misspoke. This is not a message. This is
Yes.
a capture.
Yes.
I'm going to darken the screen out just to... Can we just take it down for a second? Detective Miller, you said that you worked with Detective Reese. When you were asked to search for things, can you describe some of the things that you were searching for? We've seen a lot of kind of the pregnancy of Jade Benning. Were you specifically asked to search for any information about Miss Benning and her pregnancy?
Yes, so of course this happened over a very extended period of time. This wasn't all in one day. This was over a period of weeks and months even, and over a number of different conversations. But there was many keywords that we entered into the software. There's an easy way to enter those in, and the software does a lot of the work for you and searches out and seeks out and lists all of the times that those terms are used within the device. We did that with multiple keywords based off of the nature of her passing. Once that was identified, harming yourself, harming other people trying to harm you, lots of different phrases, terms, and things of that nature.
And specifically, there was a text message in there that referenced abortion.
Correct.
Did you find any information that Miss Benning did not want her baby in those months of January, February?
I only saw indications that she wanted to keep the child and that she did not want to have an abortion. I saw that repeatedly. I saw nothing indicating that she wanted to have anything to do with abortion with this pregnancy.
And is it correct that you were specifically looking for anything that could possibly indicate that?
Yes.
And specifically, were you looking for references to cocaine?
Yes.
Did you find any references to cocaine?
I saw 0 references to cocaine in her device.
And no references whatsoever? When you're looking for references of her doing it, but did she have references to cocaine?
I did not see references at all in her device for anything related to cocaine or any slang term for cocaine that we could conjure up.
And did you look to see if there were other substances that she was using?
Yes.
And did you see activity of her using other substances prior to her learning that she was pregnant?
Yes.
Were there references to, and those substances, is that going to be marijuana?
Yes.
Can you explain what a cart is?
It is short for cartridge. It's what you would put into a vaporizing device, and it would be these specifically are thought to be THC based.
And were there a couple of references to mushrooms?
Yes, there were.
Was there any evidence in conversations that you reviewed that indicated that Ms. Benning used any drugs after she found out she was pregnant?
Nothing indicating that she used them, no.
Were there references of text messages where she asked someone for drugs for other people?
There's a number of those, yes.
And did you kind of follow those text threads to the other messages around them to look to see if it was for somebody else?
Yes, I did.
And was there evidence that it in fact was?
Yes, there were.
So she was dealing but not
Did you
using?
search Ms. Benning's phone for information related to her relationship with Ms. Nigel Jackson?
Yes.
And were you specifically looking to see if there was any negativity between the two of them?
Yes.
Did you find anything like that?
I did not find one bit of it.
Did you find an enormous amount of communication between the two of them?
Yes, it was very clear that they talked on a very regular basis.
And is it fair to say that if you're looking for evidence of one thing, you kind of look at conversations with other people to see it might not be in a text thread between Ms. Benning and Mr. Taylor, but she might be talking to Ms. Jackson about something that happened?
And oftentimes you'll find true feelings in another adjacent text, yeah.
And were you looking at all of those messages, especially focused in that time frame of February of 2023?
Yes, very much so.
But looking at it back to the date when she finds out she's pregnant, but specifically looking for everything that she's doing in that month of February.
Yes, very, very closely.
And did you find any evidence of any connection between Mr. Keontae Jones and Ms. Benning? Did they even communicate?
There was no evidence of communication between those two. He was referenced a few times in a few different text messages, but she never communicated with him directly that I could find on her device.
If I can have just 1 second.
The Alaska webmaster just called me back. They fixed the problem. But there's jury's still deliberating up there, so no verdict yet up there.
I want to switch gears a little bit, which if we can get the screen back, that would be great. Did you receive any other devices in this case?
A number of different devices, yes.
And I want to reference you. Was that the only device that you received really from Ms. Benning where she was the owner?
Yes, for her, yes.
At some point, did you receive devices related to Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Comes Blaise Taylor's
And
Apple
can you
iCloud
describe
search
what
warrant
devices
return.
did you receive?
It was a series of devices over a period of time as well. Initially, we received, I'd have to refer to notes in order to list some of these out.
Is there an objection to him referring to his notes?
No.
You're just wanting him to list the devices?
I wanted him to generally explain the devices that he looked
You
at.
asked about listing them. What is the list that you have there?
So it's just a snapshot of some of the devices that were turned in that were owned by him or used by him, by Detective Reese.
Is there additional case material on the notes?
That was the slowest rise to object I've ever seen. Like,
Material. I don't know what notes he has. Nothing was given to me. I don't have them.
What is your question?
I just wanted to know what devices.
What is
you
your
received.
question?
What devices did you receive related to Blaise Taylor?
We received a Microsoft Surface that was owned by the Titans that was in his possession. We received a iPhone 15 Pro. We received a GPS tracker. We received 3 different iPads.
3.
We received 3 more laptops, another Microsoft Surface, and 2 thumb drives.
And the cell phones that you referenced, did did you receive any of those close in time to February 25th of 2023?
No.
The Microsoft Surface, is that the one device that you received earlier on?
Yes, the one that was owned by the Titans, yes.
And can you describe what, if any, information was on that device?
It was only work-related information that we could look at.
And can you describe what, if anything, did you do with or receive related to an Apple iCloud?
Yes, so Detective Reese, when he received his response from Apple, he submitted a search warrant to them. And in return, after a period of time, it takes them a while to consolidate the information that was requested. They submit that to him within the time frame that he requested in the search warrant. So they follow all the rules of the search warrant. Apple is pretty strict on only giving you exactly what you want, and they really only give you exactly what you want. So we don't receive the search warrant that they submit to Apple. We receive the data that Apple provides to that detective. Again, we will plug that information into our software that processes it just like a cell phone. It ends up looking a lot like a cell phone when it's done processing, or at least the software makes it look a little bit like that. Primarily because most of the information that's backed up on most iClouds is backups of phones and iPads, which again is like an iPhone. So we received that and we processed that information and gave that to Detective Reese to start looking through.
And this page is 111 of your report. The next image is 112. Can you describe what's shown here?
This is another consolidated bit of information that I obtained from a number of different sources when it pertained to his iCloud return that Apple provided us. You can see that we have the name that was associated with the account was Blaise Taylor, with his address listed as 1903 Ashton Avenue. A handful of email addresses that were associated with his account, along with a series of devices that were associated with his account, along with phone numbers that were associated with his account, so on and so forth.
And you listed off an iPhone that you received. Did you receive an iPhone 7 or iPhone 12?
No, nor iPhone X or an Apple Watch or anything from that list.
So you did not receive the actual cell phone device or any of the devices connected to the Apple iPhone?
Some of these iPads very well could have been those iPads that were listed in that line item, but no phones that were related to this iCloud.
Did you receive any devices that had activity related to this time frame of November 2022 to February of 2023?
No physical devices.
And the next page, which is 113, can you describe what's shown here?
This is kind of a cover page, if you will, that Apple sends with their return data. Basically just saying who the account is associated with, name, phone number, address, email address, so on and so forth.
And does it list a time period?
The time period, it says 1/1 of 23 to 7/4 of 23.
And is it correct that Apple sent data that they associated with that time period?
That's correct. Again, I didn't see the search warrant, but the assumption is that's the search warrant that, or the time frame within the search warrant that Detective Reese submitted to Apple, which is why they would have listed that there.
And do those generally include language related to backups?
Yes.
And the next page is 114. Can you describe what's shown here?
Yes, this is a series of entries into the Apple wallet, and it could have been on any number of devices that were backed up on his cloud, but ultimately these were just ways to further identify the information found in this cloud as associated with Blaise Taylor. Similar to what I was doing with Jade's phone, I do the same thing with clouds, again, trying my best to identify who the owner or user of that data was.
And did you ultimately give that data to Detective Reese?
Yes.
Was it somewhat voluminous?
Very, very. Over 5 million messages.
Whoa. Is Detective Reese a little bit more familiar with kind of the contents of that iCloud return?
Yes.
Did you assist him with any questions that he had and kind of looking at some of that data to connect it to the spendings data?
Yes.
My thumbs would fall off.
You said that you did not receive any of those cell phones.
None of those that were listed in his account information from Apple.
Okay. The next kind of topic I want to get to is the blink camera that I pointed out in one of the photographs. This is page 115. Did you look to see if Ms. Benning's iPhone had any evidence of footage from that blink camera?
Yes.
And the next image is page 116 of the report. Can you describe what's shown here?
Yes. When the term blink was just entered into the search feature of the software, you can see that there's some recorded dates and times for activity with the device. Interestingly, a note is that the device was showing offline starting on 2/22/23 at 8:37 a.m. And continued to show offline as the app reached out to the camera trying to access it. During that attempted communication via the internet with the device, it continuously showed offline.
And what's the next date after the 2/22/23 where there was anything in Ms. Benning's iPhone related to that camera?
The next date is 2/26/23 at 7:08 p.m. And that's indicating that motion was detected with that camera.
And the next page, which is 117, can you describe what's shown here?
Again, it's further detail into the motion that was detected on 2/26/23 at 7:11:31 p.m.
And the next page is 118. Can you describe what's shown here?
This is a still shot of the view of that camera inside of the kitchen, kind of looking over the stove there. It was created on 2/22/23 at 2:48:40 p.m.
February 22nd, it was in the kitchen.
And this image is on her phone, correct?
It is. It's stored within the database of the Blink app. It's a cached image, so it's most likely an image that would appear representing the view of the camera, not necessarily the current view of the camera.
Did you look for any and all footage related to this camera?
Yes.
And are these the only things that existed as an artifact on her phone?
There was a snapshot of the application being open, of the Blink application being open at one point when we downloaded her phone. That snapshot still existed there, but that's also very expected as well. But between these and that's all we could find in relation to Blink.
Which the next page was us getting to the snapshot for an actual image on the phone that wasn't that type of snapshot.
Correct. I'm sorry. Yes.
This was the only thing that was there.
Yes.
And the next page is 119. Can you describe what's shown here?
This is the snapshot I was just referring to. So just that image that Apple stores for applications that are currently open, kind of just that snapshot that I was referring to earlier.
And can you read the created date and time here?
2/26/23 at 9:37:01 p.m.
Okay. And do you know anything about kind of when this image was captured as compared to when that KTX file was made?
When this image, this is the KTX image,
right,
correct?
The KTX image, can you describe how reliable is that created date and time and access date and time?
So that's actually going to be a very reliable image, or date and time for that image, for that application state.
And can you explain the next page, which is 120?
So this is going to be the phone, the native phone application on the phone for an Apple device, specifically highlighted on the recent phone calls portion. Again, it's a KTX, so it's a snapshot of that phone application being open.
And so if someone had Ms. Benning's phone and they had the passcode and they swiped away a page, is that what would have caused that KTX file to be deleted?
The KTX file, that part gets deleted later on when it's actually live is when the KTX file is created, when it's actually open on the phone. But when it's swiped away, it isn't automatically immediately deleted. It's just stored away for a period.
But these images are just those pages
Yes.
being open all the time.
Correct. These were just applications that were actively open on the device at the time of extraction.
I can have just one moment.
Quick huddle between the two tables to see if they agree on
The
next
parties are going to
steps.
agree to put this copy of the exhibit into evidence. So if we can have this as well as the disc, I want
That
the
copy of that
record to be accurate. Thank you.
29.
Need the package.
I think that one's edited.
Thank you, Detective Miller. I don't have any more questions at this time, but you might end up being recalled.
Your Honor, may we approach briefly for a second cross-examination?
Sure.
Defense asks for a quick sidebar, politely, and the judge gives his approval, so they're going to move up and talk. We're live, so we can't zoom this one. What does this information show us from the phones? What have we gleaned from this? I would say, if anything, it's reinforced what we've heard already about Jade and about her excitement and desire to follow through with this pregnancy and have a baby. It shows also that there was no animosity between her and her friend, Najaya, because there was never, not a single time where they were fighting or arguing or disagreement or mean word at each other. But it also shows that Blaise was not on board, that the discussion did not go well about having a baby. What does it do? It gives him motive. Motive is not enough to convict. Motive does not get you past reasonable doubt. But it's another piece in the puzzle that might help you understand what the situation was. And if we have a situation where we have only one possibility at the end of the day when all this evidence comes in, maybe a jury could reach that verdict. Him not turning over his phones, yeah, he had a bajillion of them. I think he just found the first 20 he could find. You know, here are my 6 iPads, 4 computers, and 3 phones, and two Microsoft Surface. Yeah, he just turned everything over. But the warrant that came back from the Apple for his accounts, his iCloud accounts, listed a whole bunch of devices he didn't have. Now, it's possible that this warrant was searching for stored data on the cloud from devices that were no longer active. I've got backups from phones that I don't have anymore on my iCloud, only because I don't know how to delete them. So it's possible they were all Titan devices. I can't see them. I don't think so. I think only just the one was. Seems weird that the camera only conveniently showed a shot as it sits on the counter in the kitchen island. It doesn't show the painting, though. Something's off. Well, that was a couple days. That was the 22nd, and the painting was on the 25th, right? So 3 days before. But it does show the camera was in the kitchen, where it should be, where it would be. And we've had the friend testify that that's where it was supposed to be when she went over for dinner. That's where it was, right? And then it got moved.
That seems a little 29. Good afternoon, Detective Miller.
Good afternoon.
It's fair to say, and I think probably won't be a shock to this jury, that there's an absolutely tremendous amount of information on a cellular phone, right?
Yes.
And you described a little bit of this during your testimony, but the way you conduct a review of a cell phone is you're not just kind of scrolling through information, are you?
To an extent, that's what you're doing, but there is somewhat of a method to the madness.
So you reference search terms, right?
That's one of the things we use, yes.
Okay. So you sit down with somebody and come up with a set of terms to help you kind of focus in on places to look on a phone?
It's one way we do it, yes, sir.
And in this case, was Detective Reese the person you sat down with?
Yes. One of the people, yes.
Who are the other people you work with?
General Norman.
Okay. So you and Mr. Norman and Detective Reese at various points in time worked together to come up with terms?
Correct.
In addition to search terms, what are the other ways that you'll look through a phone?
So, having looked through a number of devices, I know where a lot of information resides inside of certain databases. So there's a number of repositories that I go directly to right off the bat that I find different things. Again, it's hard to say exactly in this order. It's hard to say it's the same for every single crime because not all of them are going to be the same. So all investigations are different. So I would have to say that the ways that I search through phones and analyze the evidence that we have extracted is going to be different every single time as well.
So one way might be, a date, like February 25th, 2023. That's an important date, right?
Yes.
And you can create a timeline of everything that happened on that date.
That is one way you can do it, yes.
And that'll show you locations, right? Mm-hmm. It'll show you all the communications, right?
Yes.
It'll show you some of this very, very technical, like every time the phone was locked and unlocked kind of data.
Yes.
Probably stuff none of us even know is going on with our phone.
Most things we don't know that's going on our phone is most of the information that's being displayed there, yeah.
Sure, but that's a pretty directed, I know a date and I've got to look at that date kind of investigation.
That is correct.
Generally, you're not going to open up messages and look through thousands and thousands or even hundreds of thousands of messages.
Well, I mean, there's times for things of that nature, but I mean, obviously we know that looking through hundreds of thousands of messages is not a viable option.
The jury is here.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
So just for example, and we'll maybe talk more about this later, but when you were searching for evidence of drug use, yes. Did you just open up Jade's messages and start scrolling through messages until you found evidence of drug use?
Well, first steps were key terms. In that sense, yes.
Okay. So you did search terms, right?
Correct.
And what popped up that might have led you to look around those messages?
Absolutely. Okay. Or identified individuals that we would have looked more at, or conversation threads. Yeah, sure.
And in order to define those key terms, you had to know something about the case, right?
Of course.
Was there at any point, did you kind of on your own direct the way the search went in this case?
Of the device?
Yeah.
Of course, I was analyzing the digital evidence
So as you find something, you might look a little bit further and bring that information back?
It might lead me to a different artifact that I find important or not important, and I share it with the lead detective. Yes.
During that process, were there conversations where the team says, we just don't want to look at this stuff at all, we'd rather focus here? This is big picture.
I don't know that there was at any point anybody saying that we aren't concerned with anything that occurred in this window.
Okay. Let's talk for a second about I want to go through a couple of the things that you that have been in your, I guess it's not really a report, in this presentation that is kind of prepared. The timeline that you did for February 25th, 2023, that was an important date, right?
Yes.
And so did you, during the course of your investigation, review kind of every single thing that happened on February 25th, 2023?
Most things.
Most things?
Yes.
Were there some things that you specifically did not look at?
Yes, as it relates to some of the processes that applications are completing underneath the hood that have zero to do with the input or use of the device that the owner or user of the device would have had anything to do with.
So really the really technical kind of nitty-gritty stuff, you didn't worry too much about.
When you get to a granular point, it's so minute that it really doesn't have any bearing on you as the user.
But in terms of communications, you looked at all of those communications.
For that day?
Yes.
I would say yes. I've looked at all of this stuff a lot, yes.
Okay. And I apologize, I'm going to just have to flip right to some of these in this presentation. Do my best not to get these out of order. If I could publish this to the picture. Thank you. At 6:43, there's a text message from, actually I think it's a text message, received from, the name is Porter Jairus. Is that right?
That's how it's stored in her device, yes.
That's how it's stored in her phone. I think you refer to him as Mr. Porter or Jairus Porter.
I said Porter Jairus or Jairus Porter, one of the two.
I noticed that you put those text messages in there several times throughout this timeline. During that evening.
As texts appear, I was placing them in there, yes.
Was that a name that you had noted at other times during your review of Miss Weber's phone?
I didn't analyze Miss Weber's phone.
I'm sorry, Miss Benning's phone.
Okay. Can you repeat the question?
Was that a name that you had noted at other times in analyzing Miss Benning's phone?
Objection, Your Honor, for relevance.
Go ahead. Did you search that name?
I did search that name. Yeah, on that date, yes.
Just on that date?
I'm sure I looked for it and saw it in other times throughout this extraction.
Did you note a significant number of communications between Miss Benning and Jairus or Jairus Porter?
I don't recall ever identifying a number of messages between them.
Well, I wanted to ask about some of these messages that we have. It was slightly less than 20 minutes after she receives a text from Mr. Taylor, she talks to Mr. Jairus, right?
Well, she received a text from him.
Receives a text. And are there additional communications that you noted throughout the evening from Mr. Jairus?
I believe there's a few more, yes.
So at 6:55, she responds back to him?
Yes.
At 7:07, there's an additional text message?
Yes.
Were there any additional messages that you noted or were able to identify from Mr. Jarris after Ms. Benning was in the hospital?
Yes, he sent a handful of messages, yes.
And when were those?
I don't recall the exact date.
Remember if they were immediately after she was in the hospital or a day later?
Like I said, I don't recall the exact date or time.
And you think you did review all of their text messages during the course of your investigation?
I reviewed a number of things. I can't swear to saying I looked at every single text message between the two of them.
Okay. This text, or this Snapchat message, I know you indicated Snapchat is a little harder to track down. Based on your review, do you believe the time and date on this is accurate for the Snapchat message?
I do believe that.
And were you able to identify who the sender of this Snapchat message was based on your review?
No.
And this message indicating, I'm already fucked up, there was no follow-up to this message?
Not that I could find, no.
And that was sent at 2/25/2023 at approximately 7:01 p.m.?
Yes.
And there's no other context for that message?
That I could find out.
Just hitting a couple things I noted. You testified about this location information that you believe was a Walmart?
Yes.
And that's because it says Walmart on that map?
And I'm familiar with that exact address and location.
Like you've been there, or you had to Google it or something?
Like I was a patrol officer in that zone.
Okay, so you have personal familiarity, you've been there before?
Yes.
This location information, does it provide or is stored how long Miss Benning's phone was at that location?
This is a parked car location, so it's not a time frame. It's just stating that the car was parked at that location.
Okay, so it just is like marking that the car was there. So there's no indication of whether it was there for 30 seconds or there for 20 minutes, anything like that?
Not based on this artifact alone, no.
And you didn't find in the phone any sort of receipts or messages relating to going to Walmart?
Nope.
We don't have any information from this phone as to why she would have gone to Walmart?
Not from this device, no.
And from this device, we don't even know if she actually went into Walmart, do we?
That is correct. I do not.
Now, I presume since you looked through all of her cell phone information for 225 that you also reviewed the text messages discussing assisting a friend purchasing drugs on that day, didn't you?
Earlier in the day, yes.
Yes. And who were those messages with?
I don't recall offhand exactly who they were between.
If I were to pass you a set of messages, would it help to refresh your recollection?
It very well could.
So now we're going to spill the tea on potentially someone who she was getting some drugs for. Why does one go to Walmart?
State is objecting to the relevance of any of the messages prior to 11/3 of 2022.
What date were you asking about? Did you look at text messages on what date?
My question right now is just about 225. I may have additional questions, but right now I'm just asking about
That's all I'm dealing with. Does this have anything to do with 225?
Yes, it's at the very end.
Okay. It starts on 4/6.
I'm just having them look at it for now. So, if you take a look at the very last page, I think it's the last or second to last page.
Yes.
Do you recognize those messages?
I do.
And what are those messages?
Text messages between Jade and a contact that she has stored in her phone titled Danny, and in parentheses, weed.
And those are messages that you reviewed in the course of your
Danny
investigation
Weed.
with this phone?
I reviewed a number of these
Danny
messages, yes.
These specific messages between her and Danny Weed?
Yes.
And there's other messages as well outside of this?
Yes.
What are the nature of the messages? Well, let's just talk about the 225 messages right now. What were the nature of the messages on 225?
Attempting to obtain some items for a friend.
And what is she asking for?
Specifically on 225, hey, my coworker wants to get a half from you.
Okay. And so that's the day of this incident, right?
So she was a
There's
middleman.
no specific follow-up in those messages, right?
Other than Danny texting back saying, I'll get back with you when I get back, or I got you when I get back.
I got you. Right?
Yeah.
So that was, that's all the way up to the day that she was meeting with Mr. Taylor, right?
Correct.
And there were, as you noted, a significant number of those kind of communications, right?
There was a few, with large gaps in between them as well.
Okay. What's a few?
A few conversations.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a number on it. I can't say for sure, but I do know that in this text string, they would have 3 or 4 messages, and then go 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months, and then 2 or 3 messages. It was a sporadic text string.
But she was at least somewhat consistently obtaining or helping friends obtain drugs. Is that fair?
Depends on your definition of consistently, but
more than once or twice during the time frame that you reviewed the phone.
We talking half an ounce, half
Maybe
a
more than
pound,
5 times?
half a bale,
Maybe more than 10?
half a
I
gallon.
can't say.
And
How
in
much
that
is a half?
message on 2/25/2023, they don't actually state the drugs that they're buying, do they?
Not on that one, no.
Somewhere in Tennessee, a guy named Danny Weed is breaking his phone into pieces and throwing it in the garbage.
Let's talk for a second about
It's dried. It's very light, so half an ounce,
a phone that is on
not half a
locked
kilo.
status, which you described. When a phone's on locked status, can you open it without the PIN?
It depends on what you mean by open it.
You can make a phone call, right? Like if someone calls you, can you answer the phone?
Yes, somebody could answer a phone that is locked.
And you can open the camera function and take a picture, right? From the lock screen?
That is correct.
But could you open it up and manipulate the phone otherwise?
Not without the pen, though.
You would need the pen. So you noted that, to the right page here. Page 35, that Miss Benning's phone was locked at 9:35 and didn't open again on 2:25 and didn't open again until 6:44 a.m. on 2:26. Is that correct? I know it's not the highlighted one, but it's
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure we were on the same page. Is all. Well, not literally, but figuratively.
There's another page, but instead of me flipping through a bunch of pages, I'm just going to use this one. So,
fair enough. Fair enough.
So up near the top here, it's actually the one that's highlighted.
Yes.
So on 2:25, it says it's locked at 9:35 and does on 2:25 and doesn't open again until 6:44 at 2:26.
That's correct.
So other than answering a phone call and potentially taking a photograph, that suggests that the phone was not opened or manipulated in any way.
That does suggest that, correct.
What if it was her lawn care guy? Danny Weed. Hey, can you come do half my yard?
I want to ask you a few questions about the photographs that were taken of Blaise and Jade, Mr. Taylor and Miss Benning, in their apartment between 9:24 and 9:28. Okay? So this is essentially the list of those photographs. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that's just kind of a close-up of that metadata. Just to orient ourselves.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't have the great digital versions of these. But all of these photos were taken in about 4 minutes, is that right?
In a short period of time, yes.
So if we go back to this. If the first photograph was taken at 9:24 and the last photograph was taken at 9:28, it's at about 4 minutes?
It's about that, yes.
Okay. So that's the first two. And these were all, none of these were deleted, right? These were all still on the phone?
That correct.
Just make sure I've got it. These were still on the phone?
Yes.
These were still on the phone?
Yes.
These are still on the phone?
Yes.
This is the only one that you've indicated was found in deleted photos. Is that right?
From that series.
And the information here is that it's deleted about just under 30 seconds after it was taken. Is that right?
Yes.
Were you in your investigation able to find any information as to why it was deleted?
No.
No text messages, no notes, nothing indicating why it was deleted?
Suggesting that I would find a text within 30 seconds
Yeah.
that she texted somebody else that she took a picture, deleted a picture she just took?
Yeah.
No.
So nothing on here is suggested why it was deleted, right? It was just deleted.
That is correct.
Things happen, right? People delete pictures.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't. I got it. Just making sure there wasn't some suggestion. I want to ask you a couple questions about the blink. I want to ask you a couple questions about the blink information that you were able to find. Okay? The first thing, while I'm sort of pulling these up, is this was a new concept to me before this case. I'm sure you are much more familiar with it, and I know you kind of explained it, but it was
What's
a little
your
quick.
question?
A KTX file is a special kind of file is it just an Apple phone or any phone?
Well, a KTX file is specifically in an Apple phone, as far as I am aware. It could be in other devices. It is a file type. It could be in a number of different devices out there in the world. I can't speak to that, but I know that it's a unique file type that is identifiable with snapshots found within iPhones.
And it's not a screenshot, right? That's a different thing.
That is completely different, yes.
Is it the kind of thing, and tell me if I'm explaining this wrong, where you like swipe up your phone and you see a bunch of windows hovering there? Those little windows are the KTX files?
That is correct.
Okay. So those are the temporary files, kind of what we're talking about.
Yes.
In order to create a KTX file, does someone have to be using the phone?
I can't speak to that specifically.
Do you know if a KTX file can be created when it is in locked status?
I can't, like I said, I can't speak to that.
Well, help me understand, from your knowledge, how is a KTX file created?
It is created when a snapshot, when Apple decides a snapshot needs to be created of that application. We could work under the assumption, again, I can't speak to all of the in and outs of what Apple does in their software, how, when, and why they do it. Okay, they're a chef and they don't want to share their recipes to all of their specialties, right? So they don't share all their information with us. So I can't speak to exactly when it was created or when it's removed, but I know that it is created and it identifies an application that is open in the background of your device.
We need the recipes. Shelly Small, thank you so much.
And I appreciate that. Based on your understanding, though, is it likely created when someone is using the phone in that manner? Like they're swiping up or doing something else that requires the creation of that temporary file?
Likely, but I can't say that it is. So, I mean, I can't say that for sure.
So let's say, for instance, on this 2/26/2023 at 9:37 p.m. KTX file, which appears to show the Blink application, right?
Yes.
And is it accurate that when you have an artifact on the phone where the created date, the access date, the modified date are all identical, that's a good indicator that that artifact, that picture, KTX file, whatever it is probably accurate as to that timestamp?
It's indicative of software creating it.
Okay. So it probably was created at that time?
Probably.
Is it reasonable, in your experience and your expertise, for us to say that that KTX file then was created by somebody doing something on the phone at 9:37 p.m.?
On the 26th?
On the 26th, yes.
Yes.
Now we have another KTX file. I did these probably backwards, but this is 9:27 and 39 seconds p.m. on 2/26.
Yes.
And the creation date, the access date, the modified date, they're all identical, right?
That's correct.
And this is another KTX file of kind of the call log, right?
The recents in the telephone app, yes.
So again, since that's a KTX file, that's like maybe from swiping up, looking at the phone, probably how that's created. Is that fair?
Yes.
So this is a good indicator of somebody accessing the phone somehow at that time.
Yes.
And just for reference, that's page 120. The one I looked at before is page 119. This artifact from February 22nd, 2023, this is page 118 of the exhibit. This is not a KTX file, right?
No.
This is an actual picture. I wasn't totally clear. This is something that Blink itself saves?
It's something that was stored inside of that application's database.
Inside of Blink itself?
Inside that database, yes.
From roughly 3 days before the 225 incident?
Correct. Approximately the time that it went offline.
Okay.
Went offline 3 days before.
And this, page 116, is a listing of the Blink sort of activity. Is that a fair way to describe it?
That's a good way to describe it, yes.
Okay. So we have on 222 a number of entries where it says it's offline. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then for some reason there's nothing between 222 and 226.
That's correct.
Do you have any idea why, or any indication based on the information you were able to obtain as to why there is no information between 222 and 226?
Most likely notifications were turned off or something along those lines with the application.
So these, the number, mini is offline, those are likely notifications?
That's so similar to the social media apps that I was referring to before. Many software companies require a subscription. This data is not stored on the device itself. It's stored on servers. I believe, I can't swear to it, but I believe Blink is in that category that you can't store information or data on the Blink cameras themselves. So you would actually have to be connected to the internet to reach out and find those things, and or serve a search warrant to Blink's company and obtain any kind of information or data that they have stored on that account. So I believe this is the device reaching out and attempting to see if there was any motion or activity or anything like that, but when it tried, it showed that it was offline.
So, do notifications on a phone, are you able to see those in any sort of specific way?
Yes.
Do you know Blink's notifications, did they come up like this? Did they look like this?
I can't speak to that specifically.
So that's kind of your best assessment, is that this is probably a notification?
This is probably something the software noted. I can't say specifically that it was a notification that the device received a blurb that popped up on a window specific to Blink saying that your device is offline. I can't say that specifically based off of this screenshot.
So you don't know why there's that gap in there. You don't know for sure that it's because notifications were turned off.
That's why I said it could be that.
Okay.
It could be a number of different things.
Do you have any idea why there is not an indication that the device is online again before we have a 226 indication that motion is detected?
Yeah, again, no, I can't speak to that.
But like we have on here, it's all of a sudden motion is detected, and we have several entries like that on
Yes.
226.
Correct.
But no real explanation for that.
No, not based on the data found in the phone.
There's a verdict in Alaska. We're watching for the feed right now. We'll have it on Top Market Media. It's not up yet. 9 hours of deliberation over there. We'll have it brought up over on our Top Market feed. We'll go live with it as soon as it comes in on Top Market, not here. We're not going to play the verdict music here. It'll confuse people.
The picture, instead of me flipping my way through all these pages, the picture you indicated that you found of Miss Benning having a mocktail.
Yes.
Was that something you just happened to stumble upon, or did you find that during a specific search?
I did not search the term mocktail, so
Were you doing any kind of specific search for Miss Benning with alcoholic beverages or anything that looked like alcoholic beverages?
We did have alcohol or some variants of alcohol, I think, in our search terms, yes.
Did you note or did you find the video that she sent to someone named Des of her in a club holding a beverage?
I can't recall that specifically, no.
You don't recall that video?
No.
Would have been around November 20th?
I can't say if I don't recall it.
Just wanted to sort of orient.
Okay.
There's the link for the Top Market Media channel. We have the live stream going there. There's just no feed from court yet, so it's just a thumbnail on the screen. When it starts, we'll have it.
Your Honor, those are my questions.
Any redirect? Yeah, you can do that.
No, Your Honor, but the state may need to recall Detective Miller.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Step down and take those.
Yes, sir.
Blaise, down the jury, rather than getting into the next witness, which may be the medical examiner, we're going to recess for the day instead of splitting up the testimony from that witness. Remember what I've said about not discussing the case, forming any opinion about it, looking things up, viewing media, anything like that. Leave your notes up here. That room will be locked. Tomorrow, if you report like you did this morning downstairs, 8:45, 8:50, we'll get you here. When you're all here as a group, we'll bring you up and resume the trial. You can step down the hallway with the court.
All right, if they're going to end for the day, we might cover the verdict in Alaska right here, but I have not followed the case. We aired it straight from court. I haven't been able to follow all the evidence. I can tell you it looked bad for the defendant throughout the trial. The evidence was pretty damning. So I can't give you a summation about the case.
And how many other witnesses does the state have?
4.
Dr. Carney?
Yes, I think we have, I think technically we have 10, but
10.
we might not have to pull all of them. But maximum, I feel like 10.
Ten's a lot to get through in one day.
And is one of those witnesses going to be Ayden?
Yes.
When does that happen?
I do not know that specifically right now, Your Honor.
Tomorrow?
It could be. If it's not tomorrow, it would be the next day.
That's the former girlfriend of the defendant.
Until 9 a.m.
All right, he's up and off the bench, so he means it. We're done. We are done. All right, we're gonna be getting this stream from Alaska here shortly. They actually put a delay on their Zoom feed on the internet, so so we're waiting. We do have a court watcher in Tennessee. Hopefully, we'll give a call as well. I've given her the go ahead, but I've got to keep watching this and this just to make sure we're good. Actually, I need to fix that. Hold, please. You don't want to see that screen. That's my screen. You want to see this one. Output 2 is going to be ME1. There we go. That's how you want to watch it, right? I thought so. I like the other screen myself, but it's not information you need. So we have a verdict. I guess now we can play the verdict music, but this has to do with not the case we're on right now, but the Alaska trial. This is the state of Alaska versus Hildebrand. Play the music just so I can get some time to set it up. Verdict music stuck. It's playing. It's jamming. It's the extended cut. We don't normally get that. For those that are new here, we play the verdict music when there's a verdict, not to celebrate someone going to prison or someone getting off scot-free and getting away with murder, but to get everyone's attention. For a lot of you watch this at home, whether you're doing other things at work, while you're being productive. And the music brings everybody back to understand that the part that they're waiting for is here. And it is a little bit of a hype because we've built up to this point in watching the trial for all the days as it's gone on. That having been said, the stream is still not up. I'm on the page for the Alaska court stream, and it is not up yet. We might have about 10 minutes potentially. Depends on how delayed the court is running the buffer.
I saw a chicken fight
before it will be available. But the way I'm planning on doing this is we're going to run this live on Top Market Media as we have the entire rest of the trial. So that will be up there without any commentary, without my face. We'll just have this screen and the logo over it. The logo, all it's doing is covering the do not record, and I have permission from the courts to do that specifically. And then we're going to be on this channel with my face, and we'll be reacting to that at the same time. So it'll be on both channels.
Remember in the beginning when we started 110 years ago?
We're just waiting now, and it's basically just click and refresh like 100 times a second until this loads up, and then making sure all our audio's in a row. Let's see how this works. Big shout out to Kathy Russin, Law and Crime. She's the one that broke the news on Twitter that there's a verdict. I believe they have. She was up there. She might be up there still in Alaska. They have a team up there that's been filming under the rules. I was told counsel wanted to see me at sidebar. Under the rules that this judge. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. 10 my time tomorrow. Under the rules that that this judge put in place for media coverage, he said yes. Law and Crime. Top Mark Media, me, you can live stream this trial. I give you permission, and if you want, you can have a camera in the courtroom, but you can't live stream that camera. The only live stream you can do is from our Zoom feed. And then he gave us the link to the Zoom feed, which we have, and that's what we've been broadcasting. So anyone who was up there, like Law and Crime and some of the local news media, who has a camera, they can film all day long. But later in the day, after it's not live, then they can post some clips. That's why you can see on social media, Law and Crime has some great quality clips from, things that happen during the day that we got to watch on Zoom, where we get to see pretty much everything because we've got like 5 cameras going at once. But they get some good close-ups and some different angles of the same thing. So the audio's been pretty good in this trial as well. Not terrible. All right. Still no feed yet. Checking on 2 different computers through 2 different networks.
Bring the jury.
When it does go live, this can happen really quickly, so I sort of have to be distracted until then. Someone stated they can't show the verdict. I don't think that's the case. I'm not sure who said that. That was not in any of the court decorum orders. Okay, it's popped up. Here we go. We're trying to get it here. Yeah, there's a delay. That's what we're dealing with right here. Yes, there is a verdict in Alaska. That's what we're waiting for. I can show you this feed while we wait. On 7.
Have them send someone with more experience.
Hello. Hello. Just waiting for all the court actually runs a delay, and looks like LNC has logged in directly to Zoom to bypass the delay, which may be a problem because that we're required to use the stream from the courts, from Alaska Courts webpage. There's a specific link we're required to use. So we'll see here.
Shame on you, sir.
Hold on. We're just waiting for the court to get their act together. I've done this every single day in the background. A couple of you have even complained, saying, why is RA so distracted? Looks like he's not even paying attention to court. It's because two things are going on at once, or more so. I'm getting text messages on the burner phone from many of you, which I'm responding to, and some of them are saying, hey, what about this case? This is happening right now. What do you know about this? Can you give me an update there? I'm running a second live stream out of another court, and also during the day, while we're live, it's the only time the other courts are open for me to file paperwork to gain access to be part of the media pool in those trials. So yes, there are times that I am distracted and looking down and texting and emailing and watching something else. But if I didn't do that, then here we go. We're live. Watch now. Boom. Okay, he's got it up. We're just waiting for the feed to come through.
In front of the Walmart.
So I'll let you watch this live. So we're basically just refreshing over and over until they actually turn on the feed.
Bring the jury.
Have them send someone with more experience.
So it's the format's not supported, but it is. We know it is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Because he's the guy.
There we go. All right, now we're live. And we need audio from that as well. Now we get to wait. This is the feed, the thumbnail that's put up by the court.
The zombie apocalypse may be upon us.
Where did that kid come from? That came from a court we watched in, I think it was Kansas, just in the last week or two, where there was a lady that was in court that had a child with her over the phone, and she said, "Thank you, Your Honor," and the kid said, "Thank you, Your Honor," just repeating what Mom had said.
I got a stubby little pencil.
Okay, let's make sure we got audio. All right, I'm sort of nervous about this one. The jury took 9 hours to deliberate, and Zarius took the stand to defend himself in this case, which was an interesting choice. But
you are banished from the state of Georgia.
He didn't show much by way of regret in his actions and his behavior and how he talked about his wife. It was sort of cold, and it came across that way. And there's some people are saying, all I needed to hear was it's impossible for her to have used the firearm on herself, covered herself up with a sheet, cleaned the gun, and here we go. Here we go. Wait for the cameras to be turned on. Court has not enabled the cameras yet. We have audio from the courtroom. And that's it. This was a rough one. He watched Corn while she lay in the bed for comfort. Yeah. Judge was pretty grumpy at the end of this trial. Almost got in an argument with the defense counsel, who insisted on being present if the jury was played back any audio from any of the court proceedings. I don't know if he's going to turn on the cameras. We might get audio only for this. Wendy, thank you very much for 10 gifted memberships. The jury's in. That was on their end. They've had internet problems for a while here. Angela, I know, but there we go. Here's our courtroom view. This is what we're allowed to show.
The 4% of the jury reached a verdict.
Yes, sir.
If you please hand the verdict forms to the bailiff. Thank you.
The defendant's in the suit in the top left corner.
Hildebrand, you please rise.
With his attorney in red.
In the matter of the State of Alaska versus Zarius Hildebrand, we, the jury, find the defendant Zarius Hildebrand not guilty of murder in the first degree as charged in count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant Zarius Hildebrand guilty of a lesser included offense of murder in the second degree as charged in count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant Zarius Hildebrand guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant Zarius Hildebrand guilty of tampering with physical evidence as charged in count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant Zarius Hildebrand guilty of tampering with physical evidence as charged in count 4. Thank you. Does either party wish to have the jury polled?
No.
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. I want to thank all of you for your service. This has been a long trial, a difficult trial in many ways. As I think I've noted before, you all were actively participating. I would keep an eye on you to make sure that everyone's still engaged. And I know that this is a long process, a difficult process, and you all took it very seriously and were active participants, and I appreciate that. I want to thank you on behalf of the court system and the state for your service. You are all excused at this point. Often the attorneys like an opportunity to chat with you if you're willing to stick around. You do not need to stick around. You're not obligated to do that at all. But if you want to, they may come down and chat with you if you're willing to stick around. I will come down and thank you again and then ask for any feedback that you have for how we can make things work smoother for you. But again, you don't have to stick around for that. So you've all completed your service. You're free to discuss the case at this point. And thank you very much. You're excused.
So jury gets to leave. They went for a lesser included second degree, which I think was the appropriate results. It's very hard to prove premeditation, especially when, you know, alcohol and things were involved. And
thank you. Please be seated.
Sentencing.
As the parties understand, sentencing is put out sometime for a pre-sentence report. I have two potential dates, October 20th at 2 p.m. or October 23rd at 10 a.m. October 20th at 2 p.m. or October 23rd at 10 a.m. And those dates, it doesn't matter that much at this point what date we pick. If it doesn't work for the parties when we get closer, just contact Chambers and we can make sure that it's a date that works for everybody. Is there a preference between those two dates at this point?
Yes, Judge.
And what is that preference?
I think that we will probably need some time for this hearing, for the sentencing. So I would prefer we block off a significant portion time of October 23rd.
Let me take a look if I have anything at this point. I don't think I have a date certain trial at that point, but let me...
The 23rd is a Friday?
Yes.
Right. So if we start at 10, does that work? And I can block off, what, 4-hour chunk? 2 hours?
I don't know that 4 will be sufficient, Judge. I imagine there will be a lot of statements in this case.
His family?
I don't think we need 4 hours, but I'll defer to the court.
I'll block off the day. I always love desk time when I have a chance to do some work, and so unless something, you know, today we'll start at 10 o'clock and we'll take as long as we need. Does that work?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And again, if those dates end up not working for people as we get closer to it, just contact Chambers and we'll work on picking a new date. All right. Anything else today? Do either parties intend to go chat with the jurors?
I always like to hear from them, if anybody's stuck around.
I guess so, yes.
Ms. Brewster, I couldn't hear you.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. I'm going to run down there and thank them again, and then I'll get out of your way, and you folks can come down and chat with them.
Defense looks devastated.
Thank you all. Off record.
Off record, and we're done. All right. Wow. The judge was quite brief there. He was quite brief. But I believe the difference between murder 1 and murder 2 in Alaska, as he gets handcuffed right there, is murder 1 is 20 to 99 years and murder 2 is 10 to 99 years. So it still could be a very, very long sentence. And, of course, those 2 murder charges are going to merge into 1. There will just be 1 conviction for murder. There was just 1 victim. So, yeah. October. That's a long way out. It's a long way out there in Alaska. Alaska held this court. They only worked half days. They worked from 8:30 in the morning till, like, I don't know. It was like 4 to 5 hours was all they'd have every day, and then it'd be done. But this was day 9, I think, or day 10. I don't remember which one it was. My guess it took that long because there were some holdouts for second degree and they compromised. How many trials does Alaska have? Probably about the same number, proportionate for people. Alaska has a lot of problems as well. A lot of, like other countries, they have a lot of drug use issues. They're also different. Alaska's it's almost like a different country. Taking advantage of daylight in the summer, yeah, you don't get it during the winter, so Look at the family members huddling around the defense. So when she said there would be a lot of statements, these are people who would be supporting Zarius if there was an opportunity to speak in his favor. Man, I think they forgot to turn off the live stream, so we're watching the courtroom empty there. Some smiles and laughter still, even on the losing side. But the defense lawyer took it personally. I think she was just devastated and crushed by the verdict. But bailiffs are saying, "Get out of our courtroom. You're done. You've used up your time." And with that, people are leaving, and we'll be done as well. We do have a podcast tonight. We're not completely done. We have a podcast at 7:00, which I'm going to make a thumbnail for and actually portal you over to, so you can click the like button and be notified when we go live, because we have a whole bunch of stories that we've been saving up that we didn't get to last week because of the caviar incident. The caviar incident, it caused a little bit of mayhem on our regular status. So, okay, let's stop. Top Mark Media. Get that one done. And end that. Okay. So tonight we have some fun stories. I'll give you some updates on the caviar, which I sort of teased a little bit earlier today. And what are you eating tonight? Tic Tacs. Nothing but Tic Tacs. I've gone through a bag and a half of these, which is 1,000 Tic Tacs in a bag. I'm not sure what the serving size is, because realistically, one is not enough. But my kids have been helping, so we're all hyped up on sugar. All right, let's play the music here while we get StreamYard set up for tonight. Maybe I'll share about the TED Talk last night. might share a little bit about that tomorrow. All right, looks like we are on season 4, episode what? Hang on one second. Season 4, episode 22 or 21? I think it's 21. With no caviar. All right, we're all set up here. We're going to portal you over to it. I'd love for you to join us on the podcast. It's a little bit of lighthearted fun, laughter, just good times with good friends. So please join us for that. And we'll be live there 8 o'clock Eastern time. Thumbnail's up right now. If you want to jump in, you can chat with some of your friends who are hanging out there until we get started. But tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again 8 o'clock tonight with the Not Relevant podcast. It is, after all, Thursday. We'll see you guys in just a very short while, actually. About 2 hours. We'll see you.